Testing. Okay, so let's continue. So I hope that this explanation that I just gave about harmony makes sense. Remember from the very first episode of Harmony for the General Public, which was using Help Is on the Way for orchestra, which is my first orchestral work, we touched upon a lot of these concepts as well, but I may have used different vocabulary. That is not necessarily intentional, but there is great pedagogical value because I really want you to use your ear and not rely on intellectual memory. You probably thought we were going to move on in music, but no, there's more to be said on this one sub-phrase. Okay, and if you want to know more about phrases, I just finished filming a series called What is a Phrase or What is a Musical Phrase or something like that. Though that is using music from Help Us on the Way, but nevertheless, you can understand what is a phrase. But what I just played there is a reason for the intensification that we previously talked about. And it's more than just the fact that the harmony changed. Yes, it changed, but there's something that happened when it changed. And you're going to understand why I'm using these quotes in just a second. What I just did is I rolled out the chords so you can hear all the notes in the harmony. The official term for that is an arpeggio, but the point is I kind of did it one by one. Let me do it a couple times, and maybe you will already precipitate me in knowing what the point I'm trying to show you is. Remember, I said change. So each of those, there were two different chords. But did you notice that the bottom note of each chord was exactly the same? Are you able to hear that? Now, if you can't, don't feel bad. It is very likely that because this is not live, okay, ideally what I would like is to have one day a full orchestra so I could show you, could hear that energy, but most importantly that it is live because there are vibrations and frequencies and all kinds of stuff going on that I can hear, I have the privilege to hear, right, that gets lost in the recorded medium. But nevertheless, the bottom note remains the same. And when we have a series of chords and one of the notes remains the same, we call that a pedal. A pedal. That bottom note we call a pedal. Now don't be like, I have a new word in my vocabulary bucket and throw it out there and start talking like you know what you're talking about, because there is much more to a pedal than just being able to say like a pedal, pedal, pedal. Okay. But the key is to hear that there's something that persists, and in ne bouge pas, as we say in French, it doesn't move. And that is what adds that intensification. Let me play it one last time. I want you to listen for that stubbornness that creates or enhances the intensification. I said I wouldn't play anymore. One quick thing about pedals, actually two quick things. The pedal in this case was in the bottom voice. We have a certain word for that. It's called the bass, but we're not quite ready for that terminology. But the pedal can occur in a top voice. It can occur in a middle voice. It also, there are many chords in which a certain note is shared. It creates a nice fluidity, and it's not always called a pedal because it has to do with the speed and pacing. So basically what I want to say is there's a lot more to what a pedal is. It is actually more advanced than what we're going to be doing for the moment, but it is something to look forward to. One quick housekeeping thing, just a reminder that what I am performing for you or showing is from my opera ballet called Salammbô. It is based on the dramatic story by Gustave Flaubert. I am still looking to find the funding for it, but for now, I'm doing excerpts and teasers from it. I do have a video already on this channel where I just play the music. So if you do like the music and you want to just hear it in a musical sense, and a lot of it is improvised, and I have to say for an improvisation, the musicality is exceptional. So when you have a moment, you may want to seek that out. Okay, let's get back into it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me play that again. And that feeling I had, I don't know if you'll have it too, but what is going on? What changes there? Okay. Did you hear that? I wrote in my notes that I call that the chord of optimism and hope. Okay. There is a technical word for it that we're not going to use just yet. But I was hoping that you were able to perceive this kind of sudden burst of light or this sudden ray of hope amidst sadness. So let me just break it down a little bit. What I was hoping, maybe I was able to enhance it with my facial expressions, was that the music was kind of somber and getting more intensified and reaching this point of oh my God. And then suddenly I love it. One quick note is the following. Do you hear how dissonant and almost offensive that sound is if I strike it on its own? But notice that I didn't strike it out of the blue. I struck it prior, and then the melody changed. So I want you to play it again and just notice how the melody does become quite dissonant against the harmony. But because the harmony is held out and previously struck, it is less offensive to the human ear. Now, true, one of the reasons is that there's a natural decay on a piano or a keyboard, but nevertheless, we feel that it kind of, it bless moins, it doesn't hurt us as much.